the UIC Natatorium, hosted by the Hinsdale Swim Club. My name is Jay Pfeiffer. I am your host and play-by-play announcer for the evening and the rest of the weekend. And we're getting a broadcast. We have a special guest joining us at the start here. His name is Brian McNamara. He is the group sales executive for the Chicago White Sox, ladies and gentlemen. Joining the show. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing good. Very happy to be here.
Good. So you're here on a special occasion, so let's get right to it. A little later on in the season, the Chicago White Sox are going to be hosting a swim night, from what I hear, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So talk to us a little bit about that. How did that come about? What was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. So this year, May 19th, 7-10 game against the Colorado Rockies. We're going to be hosting our second annual swim night. Myself, I was a swimmer growing up, starting when I was, 6 years old. Knew the community atmosphere that swimming brought, and after going through college and everything and being in a position where I would be able to bring the love of working for a sports team like the White Sox and my love for swimming all to one place is kind of how this all got started. So, we're really excited to be able to offer, a discounted ticket for all swim team families and friends, as well as a really neat White Sox branded swim cap. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do the tickets entail? Is it do we get a certain amount of swag, or how's that? What does that entail?
Yeah. So how it works is I've got an online link that I believe we got rolling on the web feed here, where you can go directly to purchase your tickets. It's a really unique experience because you can share that link with other people on your team, friends, family, to ensure that they sit right with you.
Okay.
Which, that's the big thing. Everyone wants to sit with their friends and family
Absolutely.
when they come out. So we want to make that happen for them. Anybody who purchases a ticket is going to get a swim cap. So,
okay.
It should be a really fun night.
Awesome. And you just mentioned it just a second ago that you have a swimming background. You grew up swimming. I believe, if I heard correctly, you swam at the University of Miami in Ohio, right?
Miami of Ohio.
So how was that experience? And I'm sure that provided a little bit of the inspiration for putting on this night, right?
Absolutely. I was lucky enough to get to swim for 4 years at Miami. It was a great experience. I wouldn't take it away for anything else in the world. As important as education is, I tell younger swimmers all the time, there are things that I learned being a part of a team and, being in that type of atmosphere, being a student athlete.
Sure.
There's things there that I learned that I wouldn't learn in any classroom.
Awesome.
Life lessons I'll take away and use every day in my daily job now. So
what was your specialty back then?
I was a distance swimmer.
Okay.
So, last night, I believe, with 1,000.
Yep, 1,000 yards last night.
That was me here.
Okay.
Not quite the glory like the 50 the sprinters and whatnot, but, still loved it. My mom always likes to say she got her money's worth.
Okay. All right. So growing up swimming, I'm sure you did a lot of swim meets. Just give us I'm sure you know a little bit about the event that's going on this weekend. So just give us your impression of some of the young athletes. They're 18 and under, some as young as 14 here this weekend. I mean, how impressed are you by some of these young athletes, student athletes?
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Looking at what these guys and girls are doing now kind of puts me to shame from when I was in my day. So it's incredible. And kind of speaking to that we're doing something special at the game.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been working with Pam Lowenthal on your guys' team to honor some of the age group swimmers who've, worked hard enough to qualify for Olympic trials this summer.
Yeah.
So we're going to be honoring those very select few individuals on the field actually pregame of the event. So, it just speaks to the amount that they care about their sport. So we all know swimming's a sport you got to love to do it.
Absolutely.
A lot of early morning practices, a lot of time spent in the pool. So, we want to go ahead and give those kids a shout out.
Yeah,
for all they've accomplished at such a young age.
Yeah, and I've been lucky enough. This is my third year doing this now, and I say it all the time at every meet. I just continue to be impressed by these young athletes. They swim multiple distances, multiple events a day, so it's really impressive. It's certainly nothing that I could do or even do back then. So again, it's really a nice way to honor those athletes there, and I'm looking forward to the swim night.
Absolutely.
So good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to the 2020 Illinois Swimming Senior Championships, hosted proudly by the Hinsdale Swim Club. I have been your host and play-by-play announcer for this amazing 4-day meet. And joining my side once again for finals action is coach of the Sterling Stingrays, Mr. Casey Notuk. How are you doing on day 4, Casey?
I am ready to go and get this evening started with some great mile swimming.
Yeah, it certainly should be some entertaining action tonight, and we will start things off with a 1,650-yard freestyle for the women's and men's, which is not quite a mile for those wondering maybe at home. And if you are watching on YouTube, we certainly thank you for joining us for this entire 4 days. You are the reason for what we do here at Illinois Swimming, so thank you very much. So let's get back to that rundown of events. Again, it'll be the women's and men's 1,650 freestyle. Then it'll be the 200-yard backstroke, followed by a brief awards break, and then we will get into some short races with the women's and men's 100-yard freestyle, and then the 200-yard butterfly. We will have another awards break after that, and of course we will end the evening and the meet, as we always have, with some relays. It'll be the 400-yard freestyle relay, and again, we've not seen quite as many meet records broken here over the 4 days, Casey, but certainly been some entertaining racing nonetheless.
No, absolutely. We've had some fantastic swims by swimmers, and records, they don't always come when you want them. They just kind of happen, and sometimes records are records because they're tough to beat. So we've had some amazing athletes come through Illinois through the years, and they've been very fast.
Well, I've been fortunate enough going into my third year watching some of these young athletes, and I could not agree with you more, Casey. But before we get into the action, I want to recognize some of our wonderful sponsors here at Illinois Swimming, helping us put on this 4-day event. Of course, Speedo is the longtime LSC partner and the presenting sponsor of all Illinois Swimming Championship meets. Athletico is the official provider of physical therapy, occupational therapy, athletic training, work rehab, massage therapy, and sports medicine category for Illinois Swimming. Oceans Apparel is the official apparel sponsor and provider of all championship meet apparel for Illinois Swimming. Visit the Oceans table out in the main concourse to see all the championship meet gear. So now I'm going to throw it down over to the pool deck announcer with our national anthem, and we're going to get action started here in day 4 at the Illinois Swimming 2020 Senior Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, swimmers, coaches, and spectators, welcome to the final session of the 2020 Illinois Senior Swimming Championship, sponsored by Hinsdale Swim Club. Hinsdale Swim Club would like to thank all of their sponsors for their generous contributions which have made this meet possible. The Chamberlain Group and MyQ, CHT Orthodontics, A. Merrick Fine Jewelry, Impact Physical Therapy, Dr. Gretchen Bowles, and World's Finest Chocolate. Also, thank you all to our volunteers who have worked tirelessly to put this meet together today. That includes the timers, parent volunteers, and most importantly, officials who volunteer all of their time. A special announcement today: after 21 years of officiating, Randy Clark, our meet referee, will be retiring after this weekend. Randy started officiating in 1999 under the tutelage of Rich Mueller. His first national level meet was Junior Nationals in Alaska in 2000. Among his many career memories while officiating, watching Michael Phelps in Austin, Texas get his first world record, and watching Illinois' own Mary DeSenza get her Olympic trial cut right here at UIC. So Randy, Illinois Swimming has benefited from your hours that you have given to our sport and all of our athletes, and please join me in wishing Randy a very, very warm farewell. At this time, we ask you all to please rise, remove your hats, and face the wall opposite the scoreboard for the playing of our national anthem. First event of the evening session will be the finals of event 25, the women's 1,650-yard freestyle.
And you just heard the national anthem, and our pool deck announcer announced the event. I will do the same. It is event number 25, the women's 1,650-yard freestyle. It is the time finals here at this event. Some of the finals were swam in preliminary action. And let me give you those lane assignments as I have them. So in one at the bottom of your screen, as you can maybe now see some of these young ladies being paraded out.
Swimming in
In lane one, that will be Katie O'Connell. In two, we have Leanne Fong. In lane three is going to be Julia Pfeiffer. Lane four is Elliot Kennedy. Elizabeth Bowlek is going to occupy lane five. Caroline Zimner is in six. Isabella Harder is in lane seven. And in lane eight at the top of your screen is Olivia Dorshorst. Now, there's really no way to get around this type of event, Casey. This is a lot of laps, a lot of swimming, and certainly they're in shape for it, but it's certainly a grueling event nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. This would be one of your distance events that you were talking
Yes.
about. Yes, for sure. 1650, that's 66 lengths of the pool. Looks like we're missing a couple ladies here in the finals. Maybe they got sick, or maybe they had to leave and swam it earlier. But, you know, for the 1650, what really you're looking for is kind of, you almost swim it like 5 300s, where the first 300 you're kind of setting your pace. And then the next 300, the next, 3 300s are all, you kind of want to even split the whole way. And then you want to increase your tempo on that last final 300 going into the final 150. And that's where you just kind of bring the legs in and bring everything else in and see where you go and see how it feels. You know, there's going to be, you'll see these ladies will fall into a pace, and hopefully they've trained their pace throughout the last year or so, they'll get into a pace, whether it's the pace they want or a pace that their body's just going with.
Right.
That's just what it's going to be.
And well, first I wanted to ask you, did you ever swim a distance like this?
I swam it maybe once or twice.
Once or twice.
I was definitely not a long distance swimmer by any means. I was more of a sprinter, or I like to think I was a sprinter.
Right.
I wasn't really a sprinter, but in my mind I was a sprinter. I was probably a little better at the 200 distance, but every swimmer, at least not every swimmer, but it's kind of a rite of passage. Once you know, you're around 12 or 13, your coach will stick you in 1650 and you're able to do it. And some people really find that they like it. And, then they go from there. And being a good 1650 swimmer can open up some open water opportunities for you that maybe you weren't necessarily aware of. Swimming in lakes and oceans, and that's where you get into the really long swims that are
right.
5K, 10K, and those are swims I've never done.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I shudder to even think about watching those some of those distances, even though I have, especially being an Olympic year coming up. It's amazing to watch athletes of all these ages swim these distances, and even yet and still for teenagers, right? I mean, to me that is something that my mind is still hard to get around. Like I said at the top of the show, not quite a mile, but pretty close to it.
Yeah, and so you had asked before we got online here or live, why 1650, and I didn't really have a good answer. So I did some research, and since we have a little time as these ladies are
yes,
swimming,
we certainly do.
I looked it up on SwimSwam, and years and years ago, the pools were made as 55 yards. And that's because they wanted to keep it similar to track distances. People understood track distances, so they translated that to swimming distances.
Okay.
And then, so 55 yards were used. So they did an 880-yard half mile and a 1760-yard mile, which is the actual distance.
Right.
And then as time went on and meters was used throughout the rest of the world.
Right.
50-meter pools became the norm across the world.
Okay.
So to better prepare, the swimmers, the American swimmers, they changed the pool distance to 25 yards. The United States did not want to get rid of yards.
We know why.
we do. And so everybody else was meters. So the international swimmers would swim the 1,500 meters because that was considered a mile, or at least as close to a mile as they considered it.
Right.
And the closest distance for that, yard-wise, was 1650. So that is why the 1650 is done now, basically.
Well, that's certainly some interesting information because, again, I was certainly curious about it, with it not being so far off from the actual distance of a mile, but
right.
That certainly makes sense.
Yeah, so, if, SwimSwam is a good resource for that. Somebody may have mentioned that, because Phillips 66 was a sponsor of USA Swimming,
okay,
that it was 66 lengths. And that's the 1650 took place before Phillips 66 was ever a sponsor. So that's not necessarily the case.
The conspiracy theory.
But,
interesting nonetheless, right?
It's absolutely interesting. Absolutely.
Coming up on another split time here, about 4 minutes and 45 seconds into this race. Looks like lanes 3 and 7 are swimming pretty well. That is Miss Pfeiffer in 3 and Isabella Harder in lane 7.
Yeah, and out in lane 5, Elizabeth Bowlek, she was the fastest 50 there, 31. She seems to have the little fastest, splits right now as they're coming into the 500, just about a third of the way done. So they're keeping a nice, tight pace or tight pack basically through this first 500. This next 500, you'll see some separation, I'm sure, where those who are a little more used to swimming longer distances will keep on their pace and stay on their pace, while those who may not like it or are not in the mood tonight for whatever reason because it's gorgeous outside and they'd rather be outside on a nice day, and but they're there's going to be some separation coming up. So I would look for that.
Indeed, coming up on another split time here. Lane 3 once again, Miss Pfeiffer. She's from St. Charles, 32-17. 32-11 though down in lane 1 is Miss O'Connell. So something that I also was curious about, Casey, and I wanted to ask you actually on air, and you may know about this, you may be able to speak about this or not, but from some light research that I've done on these type of long distance races, I've read sometimes that swimmers go into something akin to like an autopilot where
Yes.
they're not really, hard to describe, but not thinking much, just swimming, and everything is just sort of flowing where they're, they
Right.
may not even really be aware of where they're at in time-wise. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, most of the swimmers, they've done this distance before. They know what it is. When I would swim longer distances, and I know a lot of other swimmers and even probably runners, when you're running without a headphones on or something, you sing songs to yourself.
Right.
And you don't necessarily focus on what you're doing with your pull or what you're doing with your kick or if you're running where your feet are landing, you're kind of in that zone and you're just focusing on the moment. And you're not necessarily worried too much. You can't get ahead of yourself in a race like this.
Right.
You can't start thinking about, holy cow, I still have 700 yards to go.
Sure.
Because when you start thinking about how long you've been swimming and how much longer you still have to go, well, then you're going to get a little disappointed. And you're not going to have a very good swim. So swimmers will, just focus maybe on just the feel of the water, looking at their coaches when they breathe, looking at the counters. Maybe the counter is going up and down or left and right, and it's telling them to go faster or stay on that pace. Or there's a lot of things that the counters can do, and the coaches will tell them to stay on a specific pace because they all have specific, times that they want to hit. And that's all, of course, done by hitting these splits on their 50s. And it's easy to tell if they're going to hit their mark or not. But back to what you were asking, you just kind of get into a zone.
Sure.
Sing a little song, whatever your song is. Usually you sing it over and over again.
Right.
And you just, a lot of times you may not even remember the race.
Right. And that's what I kind of wanted to get at as well.
Yeah.
Certainly interesting concept.
Yeah. The best. This is an interesting thing that I've found. The best races that you swim, you never really remember because you were so focused on just simply that moment. The races you remember are usually your worst ones.
Okay, right.
And that's because you're too focused on what is going wrong.
Right.
As opposed to just allowing yourself to swim and swim fast and just be, I think that zen, if you want to get a little Phil Jackson, living in the moment is a true statement for a lot of these, especially distance swimmers.
Yeah, again, like I said, that's certainly one of the interesting things that I noticed doing a little bit of research on these distance races, and it's mind-boggling, but it's so impressive, because they're able to separate, for lack of a better phrase, mind from body, right? I mean, it's
right.
In the mind, they're on something totally different and just sort of allowing the body to do what it's already been trained to do.
Right, absolutely. If you start thinking about where your hand is supposed to be pulling and where it is, it's already too late and you should have pulled.
Okay, right.
Like your hand should be pulling. It's your body's on, I guess, what rote or whatever. It's automatic. You don't have to worry. As long as you've done your training and you've properly trained and your technique is solid, your hands are going to go where they know to go. The muscle memory. Your feet are going to kick. Your race strategy will be helped by your coach and helped by your counter. But these swimmers also know where they want to be and what they want to hit as well. And so that's just kind of what they're focused on. Am I on my pace? Do I need to go faster? You try not to worry about many others, the other swimmers in the pool with you, because you can't control them. You want to worry about what you can't control, and the only thing you can control is the effort level. You can't control the temperature of the pool, or if the air quality is good or bad, and all you can worry about is, are you doing what you're supposed to do? And if you're doing what you're supposed to do, then chances are you're going to be successful. You may not win, but you can't control that.
Yeah, and you can translate that to anything in life, right? So that's again one of to me one of just the amazing things that I will continue to mention when doing these meets about these young athletes, and any athletes really, but especially these young athletes, because at least in my opinion, it's really easy for them to not be focused all the time, you know.
Absolutely.
And you know, being a teenager, I mean, even though that was a long time ago for guys like us,
Right.
remember what that was like, you know, hard enough to focus on school and, you know, social life and all of that, and then you have to compete in these events, swim these type of distances, and again, it's so impressive to watch these young athletes perform.
Yeah, it's 17 minutes of looking at a black line on the bottom, and you don't have, you know, these athletes don't have a phone in their hand while they're swimming.
Right.
So they can't Snapchat or do the TikTok dance.
Yeah, you're right though. You're right.
And so they have to be focused, and you know, it does show you that athletics are a great thing for any person at any age, because it does help you focus on things other than, you know,
what you're supposed to be doing. Absolutely. And that is Miss Bowlek. She, like you mentioned, Casey, starting to increase her lead here, separated a little bit as the race goes on. I believe that is about the...
Yeah, we got a 500 left here.
Yep. I was going to say about the 1,100-yard mark.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be wrong on the math, though.
Well, I think my math is right, but I'm not a math student or teacher. I just am a swim coach. But yeah, we got a 500 left. So now this is a distance that these swimmers will, you know, kind of reset and say, all right, now I got a 500.
Okay.
If that's how they swim it, or they're going into their, you know, the end of their fourth 300 right about here, and then they got one 300 left to kind of pick up their pace again. And, you know, the Bowlek is back down to 31.6. So this is probably where she's going to stay for the next, you know, 850s or so, and then her last 250s will hopefully be, you know, should be a little bit faster. They're swam right. You're not going to have a big difference between your you know, the 10th 50, the 20th 50, and the 30th 50. You know, all those 50s should be relatively the same. And when you look at higher level swimmers, and these are fantastic swimmers, but when you're looking at the college level and NCAA level swimmers, their splits are within like a tenth of a second. It's amazing to see that they're so disciplined in their swimming, and they know their stroke counts and exactly how many kicks they take off the wall, and you know, their times will be within a tenth or 2/10 for 33.50s. You know, with the exception of the first one, obviously.
Okay, right.
But it's pretty spectacular to see the discipline that these athletes have. And Bowlek dropped just a little bit to 31.9, but she's still staying on a nice pace here.
Must recognize Katie O'Connell as well down at the bottom of your screen in lane 1. She's having a pretty good swim.
Yeah, she's doing well from Academy. I'm sure she's shooting for some cut. We don't have all the cuts in front of us.
Right.
The winter juniors and winter national cuts, these ladies aren't going to hit those. But you know, maybe the NCSA meet coming up in Orlando in a couple weeks might be something, or a sectional meet of that type.
Out in lane 3, Julia Pfeiffer holding down third place at this point. But as of right now, it is Elizabeth Bowlek's race to lose.
Yeah, and then, you know, some of these people, or not these girls, not these ladies, but swimmers did swim this event this morning, or this afternoon, I guess it was. And so these swimmers are also swimming their times.
Right.
That swam already. So they know what they need to do if they want to get a medal around their neck, and that is also in their mind. You know, ultimately we're all competitors, and we all like to win and be recognized for that, and get some hardware and bring it home from one of these meets.
But we were also talking about this yesterday too, and like you just said, the hardware is nice, and we're all about the competition. But sometimes the competition is, in a sense, against yourself, just trying to improve on what you've done previously. You know, increasing split times, increasing total times, and it's not necessarily always about coming in first, second, or third.
No, it's not. And there's a fine line that the coach has to draw and the athlete has to draw between emphasizing competition and emphasizing the self-improvement. Because you of course you want to improve yourself, but at the end of the day, if you're not put in positions to win, let's say, then it's not going to be as fun for you. It's okay to beat yourself, right? Like your time,
Right.
But you do, we were talking yesterday about sibling rivalry.
Right.
You do like to beat your sister, or you do like to beat your brother or
Right.
your teammate.
Right.
It is fun to beat them, and so that also comes into play. You don't want to de-emphasize that.
Sure.
Because there are points on the line, and as they go through and get into college, they definitely put an emphasis on winning as opposed to times. You need times to qualify for meets, but to win meets, you got to get first, second, third places. So this is the bell lap now for Bowland.
Yep, I don't know if you might have heard that or seen that on YouTube live, but we had a little bit of an early bell lap rung there. But now it's the bell lap for Miss Bowlek.
She's finishing. She should be on her the orange counter
if she can get it. Oh boy, that's too late.
Didn't quite get it. Let's hope that Elizabeth was paying attention and she knows that this is where she's supposed to finish.
Well,
but I think she does. But if she doesn't, it wouldn't be the first time that someone's gone just a little farther than they were supposed to. But she did.
She does in lane 5. Elizabeth Bowlek taking down this timed final, 35.8 on that final 50. Will put her at a 17:27.3.
Yeah, nice 11-second drop for Elizabeth. And St. Charles also in second place there.
Yep. Third place, Miss Pfeiffer is 17:36.8. Second place goes to Miss O'Connell in lane 1 from Academy with a 17:32.8. And congratulations, as that was lane 7, Isabella Harder finishing up her 16:50, and grueling nonetheless, but hopefully rewarding for some of these young ladies, and a well-deserved rest, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, some of these ladies may not be done swimming tonight. So
right.
They'll go. They'll hop out. They'll talk to their coach quickly, go cool down, maybe get some fluids in them, and get back and get ready to race.
And we're taking it down to the full deck now for the men's
15
final.
minutes, 20 seconds. In lane 1, Aiden Dunn, Fox Valley. Lane 2, Jay Jensen, Hinsdale. Lane 3, Michael Flynn, Lions. In lane 4, Everett Andrew, NASA. In lane 5, from Lincoln Way, he says this race is only 66 laps of fun, Joe Bosey. In lane 6, from New Trier, Hayward Wilson. In lane 7, from Reach, Vince Chiappetta. And in lane 8, from New Trier, Graham Wilson.
You just heard our pool deck announcer give out those names. And if you didn't, I will reset it for you. For this time, final men, 1650-yard freestyle in lane 1, bottom of your screen, Aiden Dunn from Fox Valley Swim. In 2, Jay Jensen from Hinsdale Swim. Michael Flynn is in lane 3 from Lions. NASA Wildcat is in lane 4, that is Everett Andrew. Joseph Bosey is in 5 from Lincoln Way. New Trier is in 6, that is Mr. Hayward Wilson. Vince Chiappetta is in 7 from Reach Aquatics. And at the top of your screen, Graham Wilson from New Trier.
Yeah, and this is a little thing and a minor thing, but I don't understand, and I tell my counters, we don't need to put in number 1. All our swimmers know that they're on their very first lap.
Yeah.
Just sit back, relax as a counter, and put it in at number 3. Also, sometimes the counters, they don't have to put it in for every length. It's not a rule that they have to.
Yeah, it's again something that we'll re-emphasize as we do these meets, but it's to keep the swimmers at least aware of where they're at in the race.
Absolutely.
Those paddles that you see on the other end of the pool.
Yeah, no, this is very easy to forget how many laps you're, especially if you're singing and or some people maybe doing math problems.
Okay.
Who knows what is going through everybody's mind. Probably some things you probably don't want to know. That's
certainly true.
Some of these minds. So, but the counters are definitely needed. At the higher levels, the counters aren't necessarily put in the water. They're at the Olympic trials. They're put on the deck, and so the swimmers just at that level they definitely know usually. But at the trials in 2016, the guy who actually won the mile did an extra 50. He miscounted. So
It can happen.
The 1,500 meters was not quite long enough for him that day, but he still qualified for the Olympic team, so it didn't hurt him too badly.
That is Everett Andrew from NASA Wildcat establishing the pace early, out in front with the lead.
Yeah, and all these swimmers, again, will have different strategies. They like to maybe get out fast and swim out front. They like to swim off of somebody else and just kind of slowly creep up on someone. Like lane 3, Michael Flynn, he's been a solid distance swimmer for the last few years and has put forth some great swims. So he's got a very easy stroke right now. Not kicking very hard. Right next to him, Jay Jensen, also not kicking very hard, but you saw him last night in the 500. He dropped 4 seconds from his lifetime best that he just did a week ago at the high school state meet. So that's good for him. I know his brother and sister, Tim and Rose, were watching him last night. So shout out to those two.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, again, we can get some shout outs here on YouTube. And again, thank you for joining us. Also, I believe we will be posting some things on Instagram and on the Illinois Swimming Facebook page. So we encourage the feedback. And again, we hope you are enjoying our webcast that we have brought to you for these past 4 days. It's certainly been entertaining for us here.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing where some people are listening or watching from.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
On the live chat, if you want to put where you're from or who your horse is in the race. And I know we got Brian's cheering for Vince here out in lane 7. So Vince can't hear you, but can't hear us either.
He'll hear you in spirit. He feels you in spirit there, Brian.
Yeah, but he's swimming pretty well. He's kind of settled right now into a nice steady pace. In 3rd place. And Mr. Andrew.
28.48.
28 mids. And Michael Flynn and Jay Jensen are both in 28s as well. So this will, Everett Andrew may be the leader from start to finish. He may win it from beginning to end. But, you never know if he overswam this first half. But you're not going to know if you don't stick around and watch, I guess, right?
Absolutely. And, there you can see Mr. Everett Andrew pretty much right in the middle of your screen. Not really using those legs much, Casey. And, again, we've talked about this before as well. Got to conserve that energy, right? You don't want that lactic acid to build up in those muscles too early. Otherwise, it's going to be a short race instead of a long race.
Definitely. Those legs you're definitely going to start feeling them. They're going to feel heavy. They're not going to be working too well, and they're going to be pulling oxygen away from your arms, which is what you need. And so Dennis, I'm sure Michael appreciates you pulling for him out of Oak Park, and Everett swimming for Everett.
Interesting on that comment there, but
yes,
we would assume somebody is on his account.
Not quite sure how he's swimming and typing, but
yeah, we would assume somebody is on Mr. Andrews' account. But once again, this Everett Andrews certainly impressive as we're just pretty much right around a third of the way.
Yeah, we're 600 yards here. Everett is maintaining his lead and slightly pulling away from everybody every 50. He's 28 lows, while Flynn, Jensen, and Chiappetta are all 28 highs, 29 lows. So they may not catch him as long as Everett can maintain this pace, but they're going to have a nice race, the other 3.
Yeah, it's a certainly close grouping for who may grab second place here in this 1650, but as of right now, Mr. Everett Andrew with about a 3 or 4 body length lead, as the nearest competitor, Michael Flynn, just made his last turn.
Yeah, if we get a little faster on that 50 down to a 28.5 with Jensen 28.7, but Everett was a 28.2. Over in lane 7, Chiappetta, he's starting to struggle a little bit. He may be he may have gone out a little too fast, maybe hit those legs a little too early. He's pulling the double breath into the turn, which, you know, doesn't
not a good sign usually.
Not typically a good sign. Doesn't necessarily work. It doesn't do anything other than for the psyche of the swimmer. But,
Okay.
you know, you see swimmers at this level. I mean, you see Katie Ledecky do it. So it's more of a mental thing.
Okay.
Can you really breathe twice that fast and have them be beneficial to you? I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not a science major, but I think I've read it takes somewhere around 40 seconds for one breath of oxygen to travel through your whole body.
Yep.
So breathing twice within 1 second isn't necessarily going to help you out too much, but if it helps you out mentally, then it's not a bad thing.
7:06.57. Did not catch his 50 split for Mr. Flynn, but again, still just trying to keep pace here, stay within a certain amount of distance of Everett Andrew if he's to catch him
If
at
you
all.
can. Yeah, Everett's going to hit the halfway point at about the 7:40 mark, so that's a pretty solid swim. He's setting up to have. He's still in 28 lows with Flynn and Mike and Jensen in the 28 mid to high range.
Yeah, Everett Andrew is just carving this field up right now.
Yeah, he's
believe
lapping
I was just gonna say
Joseph Bozzi out of Lincoln Way, and that's not necessarily fun for Joseph, but I
can
understand
imagine
that
not.
too.
I can imagine not. Mr. Everett Andrew having a dominant performance, just smooth and easy in the water, Casey. Again, during these races, you don't want to overexpend yourself. So he's certainly looking relaxed and calm and just doing what he's doing. Swimming right in the middle of the lane, not drifting.
Strokes, absolutely, yeah. He's got a decent 2-beat kick, not overextending, not taking, too much dolphin kick under the water for the mile. That's a little more important for the shorter races.
Right.
The mile, or the 1650, I should say, is that we know it's not the mile. The 1650, you don't necessarily need to have great underwaters. You still want to streamline, of course, because every little bit helps. Every couple tenths off of each 50, over 33 50s will definitely add up. So every little thing you can do to make it easier, you want to do. So you don't want to be lazy in your streamlines, and you don't want to be lazy in your dolphin kicks, but you also don't want to overdo it.
And you had mentioned something earlier when it comes to a race like this, that they've been training pretty much all year. I mean, how does it take a year to sort of get a distance like this to where these young athletes feel comfortable with it, or is it longer?
Well, it doesn't necessarily take a year to train for. I mean, you're training. Most coaches will have a day that they set aside, or a couple days they'll set aside for distance training. And, working on their pace for this, or middle distance, which is the 500 or maybe the 200. So it takes some experience to know how to pace this correctly and to understand where you're at. And there's not a lot of opportunities to do this race throughout the year, simply because the length of it. A lot of swim meets don't like to have it there because, a lot of swim meets are used for fundraising purposes. And, having 8 lanes taken up for 17 minutes isn't necessarily a very good return on your dollar.
Right.
I mean, it's a great return for the athlete, not a good return for the club. So the miles aren't offered too often, and if they are, they typically are offered only to like the top 3 heats or 4 heats, simply to limit the time. So while I say these swimmers have waited a year for this, it's probably because some of them may not have even done this for a year. They may not have swam this since this meet last year. So or the meet coming up in a couple weeks. There's
Right.
not a lot of opportunities to do it. So that's typically why you'll see some really huge time drops in these races.
Okay.
Obviously, the athletes are improving, but it's also because, a year of growth, a year of training, a year of strength does make for some significant drops.
Mr. Everett Andrew, again, gotta mention, he is just dominating the field right now.
Yeah,
Trying to
he's
think of where this second grouping is, but
well. You got Flynn
think it's
in
three,
three,
right? Yep.
Yeah, Flynn in 3 is holding down second pretty solidly. Jensen, I believe, is holding down third in lane 2, and then it definitely has spread out.
Yeah.
I think was that Chiappetta out in lane 7? I
Yep.
think
Wilson in 8.
he's in 4th. Wilson and when they start lapping each
Yeah.
other and not quite exactly, you got to look at the counters and see where they're at. But Everett Andrews still definitely solidly in first place, and Michael Flynn, a few seconds behind, 28.5 on that 50 for Flynn. He's about 8 seconds behind. And then Jay Jensen's in 3rd.
Now, I think that was believe this is, see if I'm doing my math correctly.
54.
Yeah, 54.
Yeah, 54 lengths.
I believe 1,200.
They'll be under
1250?
1,200, yeah, 1150.
Somewhere around there.
I think so.
Again,
Sounds
not a
right.
math major here, folks, but I say that to say that what I was going to comment and ask you on, Casey, was when do you think maybe Everett Andrew, if he chooses to, because he's got such a big lead, do you think he'll turn on those afterburners and kick it in a little bit of a higher gear?
Yeah, well, a lot of that depends on what he's got coming up. If this is his only event that he's got left, then he's going to probably kick it up probably with around 300 yards or so to go, which is roughly about now. He went 28.9 on that last 50. But once you start seeing his legs come into it and his tempo increase, which it seems to be doing now a little bit, he may be trying to shoot for it, and go for it now just to make sure that no one's going to catch him.
Yep. Yeah, but that is a great point. You don't know what if these young athletes, at least I certainly don't know, if they'll be having other events to swim tonight here in this day 4, final day of action here at the Illinois Swimming 2020 Senior Championships.
Well, it looks like Everett has the 200 backstroke pretty soon after this. So
I did see that as well.
He's doing the mile and then straight into the 200 backstroke in about 20 minutes. So it's going to be a rough transition for him, but he's still putting together here. He's got about 125 yards left to go.
And how do these young athletes do that? That's something you could speak to as well, Casey. Maybe not necessarily coming off of a 1650, but just really how do they handle these transitions, swimming these multiple events with really very little downtime. I know there's a cool down pool on the other side
right
here that you may not be able to see on YouTube Live, but is there more to it that goes?
It's training. You know?
Okay.
It's these athletes. They train for this exactly, and they swim a lot of repetitions at high speed, and they understand how to swim with a little little lactic acid burn going through, and some of them, especially these distance folks, they thrive on that. They really enjoy that burn that they get, and so for them, swimming around is not as rough as it would be for a sprinter coming back.
As Everett Andrew did turn on those afterburners for the final few turns, he will be first, 26.44 on that final 50. Will put him at a 15:31.4.
Yeah, that's just under the junior national cut, so that's a great swim for him.
Also with a great swim, Michael Flynn from Lions in lane 3, 15:42.7.
Yeah, Jay Jensen was third.
Yep, Jay Jensen third with a 15:51 flat.
Yeah, and I spoke with Michael Flynn's dad earlier today. He said his goal was to get under 16 minutes, but I don't think that was ever in doubt. He went 15:42. Chiappetta just finished
16:08.
Solid swim for him as well.
Absolutely. Lane 5, Joseph Bosey finishing up. 28:31, final 50. Wilson finishes in lane 6 and in lane 8. 16:25 for Bosey, 16:25.2, and 16:27.2 for Wilson in 6 and 8. As we are done with the 1650s, Casey. Woo!
Well, that went
breathe.
fast.
Yeah,
I mean, it went fast for us. I'm sure it didn't necessarily go fast for the swimmers, but maybe it did.
As we keep it moving here, we're on to event number 27. It's the women's 200-yard backstroke. It'll be the D final. So let me give you those lane assignments as I have them. In 1, at the bottom of your screen, will be Anna Wirtz from New Trier. Her teammate, Megan Mead, is in lane 2. Ashley Hintz is in 3 from Palatine Park District. Madeline Padovic is in 4. Katie O'Connell is in lane 5 from Academy Bullets. Samantha Weigel is in lane 6 from Maverick. St. Charles swim team is in 7. That is Naomi Ruff. And Caroline Zimner is in lane 8 from Wheaton Swim Club.
Yeah, and the 200 backstroke, is a race that is very difficult on the legs. There's a lot of kicking, a lot of underwater kicking, and done correctly, it's difficult to walk for a little bit when they're done here. So, like Katie O'Connell in lane 5 just got done with the mile about 20 minutes ago.
Right.
So she's back at it with 200 backstroke. So,
and we'll see how she does in it.
No rest for the wicked here.
No, certainly not.
But yeah, the 200 backstroke is definitely just one that is fairly even split throughout. Some backstrokers even will negative split it a little bit, meaning the second 100 is faster than the first 100 as they try, as they get into the race and, they lay off the legs a little bit on this first 100 or so and start increasing the kick on the back half because kicking for 200 yards straight on your back it hurts.
It's no fun. No fun at all.
It just hurts.
And that is lanes 3 and lane 7 with some great underwater work. And 7 up at the top of your screen is Naomi Ruff. And lane 3 is Ashley Hintz.
Yeah, and you'll notice some of these swimmers will have nose plugs on.
Yes.
And that's simply just so they can, when you're underwater on your back, sometimes the water has a tendency to go up your nose.
Right.
If you've ever done a somersault in the water while you're screwing around or dipped your head back in the shower,
Yep.
water will go right up there.
Oh, yeah.
And it burns a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of blowing air out through their nose, these swimmers will rely on the nose plug to make sure that they're not getting a little burn up there and they're blowing air out through their mouth instead. As they enter the last 50 here, it looks like lane 4, Puccini's coming on. In lane 7, Naomi Ruff is driving to the finish, but I think Alexa Puccini here is going to have is that right? Am I looking at the right swimmer?
That is lane 4, Madeline Padovic. Bringing it into the wall.
Looks like Alexa Puccini was substituted out there.
That's where that confusion is. We had an alternate. That is Alexa Puccini. We apologize for that. She is in first with a 2:04.19. Second is Naomi Ruff, and in third is Ashley Hintz. And congratulations to Alexa Puccini as we start the C final up now. And again, in lane 1, we're going to have Claudia Yoon. In 2, Paige Armstrong. In 3, Braylon Binkowski. In 4, Skylar Ruggles. In 5, Caroline Gwaltney. In 6, Kiara McGowan. In 7, Molly Lumsden. In 8, at the top of your screen, Amy DeHamel.
Yeah, and sometimes on a Sunday night at a finals session, the athletes may have scratched, and so some of the names may be wrong. Like I believe Skylar Ruggles is going to be swimming in the B final here, and Madeline Padovic, who was in the D final, is now swimming in lane 4 for the C final. So we'll try to make sure we get the names right, but
sometimes this happens.
Sometimes
and we do apologize for it. But yes, that is Madeline Padovic in lane 4 for this C final instead of Skylar Ruggles.
Yeah, and any number of things could happen. You know, a swimmer could be injured. A swimmer could have, you know, had some bad sprouts from Jimmy John's or something. I don't know. In between sessions, or they scratched and it was missed. That's happened as well. So, but we're at the halfway point. All these swimmers are roughly around 100, 101. McGowan from Academy is out in a 59.
Yeah, Kiara McGowan from the Academy Bullets. I believe that was a 31.06 on that last 50. As they're coming up on the next 50 split.
Yeah, Molly from Palatine's hanging right there too. She flipped a little bit ahead of her.
That is lane 7, Molly Lumsden. Lane 6, right below her, is Kiara McGowan. And got to keep an eye on what's going on in lanes 1 and 2. That's Claudia Yoon and Paige Armstrong as well.
Yeah, they're going to have a strong finish, but I think the race for first place is out in 6 and 7 there. And it looks like
McGowan,
Molly is going to have just a little bit of an advantage there.
As they dive towards the wall, it is McGowan.
Great
just
finish.
out touching Molly Lumsden, 31.35 on that final 50. 2:03.09 for Miss McGowan, 2:03.18 for Lumsden, and 2:04.02 for Miss Gwaltney out in lane 5. As we take it to the B final now, and again, we're going to have a bit of a shuffle here, and I think in lane 4, it will be Skylar Ruggles. So Megan Mitchell will be in 1.
No, I think we have Skylar Ruggles is in lane 1. And then I don't know where everybody else is.
Yeah, we're going to try to get this settled for you. Okay, so it looks, you're right, Casey. Skylar Ruggles is in lane 1. Julia Heimstead will be in 2. Alexandra Mitchell in 3.
Okay.
So
everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else is okay. So in lane 4, Angelina Sakels from Hinsdale. Abby Totzi is in 5. Sophia Kuhn is in 6 from Palatine Park. Ella Schrader is in 7 from Fox Valley Park. And Emma Pritchett rounds out the B final in lane 8 from Glenbrook.
Yeah, and Mitchell from CWAG out in a 28 low, 28-2, setting the pace early here.
Not surprising from a CWAC swimmer. Chicago Wolfpack, one of the better programs here that we have in the state, although they're all great.
Yeah, and coming into this first 100, Mitchell still with a lead, 30.1 at the flip there. I think so that's out in a 58 for her. And Kakels is right behind her, 58.8.
In lane 4, that is Angelina Kakels. And in lane 6 and 8 with some great work as well, that is Sophia Kuhn in 6 and Emma Pritchett in 8.
Yeah, and Alexandra just looks like she started a quicker turnover there. 30.6 on this 50. She could bring it home. She might get under 2 minutes here.
Angelina Kakels may have something to say about that in second place at the moment. But Miss Alexandra Mitchell from Chicago Wolfpack.
Yeah, she was 144 at the 175, so she should be able to get under 2 minutes. It'll be a nice 3-second drop from this morning swim.
Alexandra Mitchell from the Wolfpack is going to win this B final, taking it into the wall.
Didn't register
on the touch.
But she was definitely under 2 minutes.
Very unfortunate. She was under 2 minutes. And hopefully we'll be able to get you that time. But Alexandra Mitchell definitely won this heat as we now take it down to the pool deck for the A final. You heard those names from the pool deck announcer, and I'm going to give them to you. So in lane 3 will be Jamie Kolar from Hinsdale, Anna Poplowski in 4 from Waves, Reach Aquatics is in 5, that's Madison Dorn, and Alexandra Eastman is in 6 from Patriot Aquatic.
Yeah, and I don't know if you caught it, but
I
lane
did.
4 is the meet record holder from last year, so she's probably going to be looking to break her own record, 157.86.
Records are meant to be broken, Casey. Hopefully the first one will be here in this 200-yard backstroke A final.
It would be
as they're
nice
on the
to
water.
see. But out first, at least to the 25, was Madison Dorn, who said this is her first super final of her life. So she's trying to take advantage of flipping first and getting her name out there. So good job, Madison.
First 50 split, 28.08 for Madison Dorn, 28.39 for Eastman in 6, 28.8 for Poplowski in 4.
Yeah, and Anna Poplowski, though, is definitely a back half swimmer in the 200 backstroke and in many events. So although Madison is having a great swim, I'm not counting out Anna Poplowski as of yet.
Nope, still some race to be swam here in this A final, but like you mentioned, Madison Dorn certainly impressive in her first showing.
Yeah, Eastman had the fastest 50 on that, but Poplowski was just behind her at 30.1. They were all out in the 58, so let's see if they can all maintain this 58 and come back and get a 156 high, 157 low.
Anna Poplowski starting to make her move now in lane 4.
Yeah, her tempo has increased. Her kick has also increased. Her speed has increased, and she's attacking the walls just a little bit. She actually had a faster 50 there than her second 50, so she's definitely coming home and trying to back half this race.
Yeah, you can see that tempo increase from Anna Poplowski. She's attacking this thing hard. It looked maybe a little long on that last turn, not sure, but
Yeah, she's long, but she's got long arms, so it's not necessarily going to be a disadvantage for her to turn a little earlier and make sure she's going to get a full pull out of that.
into the wall. Miss Anna Poplowski, 29.44 on that last 50.
Yeah, she's going to be right at her meet record here.
Alexandra Eastman
Ooh.
second. Ooh, just
Just
off
off.
that meet record. 158.34 for Poplowski, 159.63 for Eastman, and 159.86 for Kolar. Great swim, young ladies.
Yeah, 3 ladies under 2 minutes. That was a solid swim. Solid swim.
As we take it to event number 28 now, it is the men's turn for their 200-yard backstroke. And in this D final will be Parker Geary, actually.
Yeah, well,
That's
we were told earlier
Yeah,
that
yeah,
there's going
this
to be
was-
some
yes,
movements
yes,
on this
absolutely,
one, so we'll try to do our best with the names.
okay. That
I think-
is Ryan O'Connor, I believe.
Yes.
Just stepped into lane 1, so no Parker Geary. Ryan O'Connor is going to take that lane 1 spot here in this D final. He is from the Academy Bullets. And in lane 2, that is Vince Geppetta from Reach Aquatics.
Just coming off the mile, or
Yes,
the 1650,
yes, so
excuse
let's
me.
keep an eye on him in this 200-yard backstroke. Colin Sell is in 3 from Fox Valley Swim. Stephen Del Bello from St. Charles is in 4. I do not see Joseph Kibben. I think
No, it doesn't seem like he's
doesn't
here.
seem like he will be in this D final. So I think lane 5 is unoccupied. In 6, that looks to be Ryan Bowering from Glenbrook Swim Club, and looks like 7 and 8 are also unoccupied as well. So we mentioned this just a few minutes ago. Sometimes during these day 4 finals, these evening races, you get a little shakeup here in the lineup. So
Yeah, you do, and it's unfortunate that some of the swimmers didn't scratch and let people know that they weren't going to be here, because it does, there might be an opportunity for someone else to swim and maybe someone else would have stayed had they known they were going to swim. So it's always important to, as a swimmer, even just for the benefit of other swimmers, make sure you scratch and do it according to the rules, I suppose.
Yeah, I think some of our officials just trying to, it looks like, make sure everybody's here. I think if you can see somewhat at the far end in lanes, towards lanes 7 and 8.
Yeah, they're checking in everybody, but one of my swimmers earlier, I think he finished 24th this morning, and he actually got scratched all the way up to 12th. So there were quite a few scratches, but sometimes, someone who swam this morning maybe placed 50th and didn't think they had a shot at coming back,
Right.
and they didn't scratch. Well, guess what? You probably had a shot, especially on a Sunday night. So
we're going to have a bit of a delay here, it looks like. I think they're going to try to get some of these other lanes filled. Looks like they may be rearranging some things. As I just saw an official talk to Stephen Del Bello.
yeah, I think he got moved to Heat 2, the C final.
So once again, folks, we apologize for the shakeup here a little bit. But we're going to get it sorted out, hopefully real soon here. Definitely want to recognize and thank these officials as well. They do not have an easy job. For those who think they're just sort of, holding clipboards and checking off
kids,
names.
yeah.
And they are not easy. They have to make sure these young athletes are where they're supposed to be. The times are in at the right time, the correct time as well. So sometimes, think about it before you may have an ill word or two for your officials, because they do work hard here at these Illinois Swimming Senior Championships. We're having fun with some of the coaches here at these 20.
I'm swimming the 100 free.
Maybe not sure. As we've got some
Jeopardy music playing in the background here as we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Hopefully this delay isn't too much longer, folks. But once again, there's been a significant, it looks like at this point, shakeup in the lineup. So I think, let's see who that may be. Gavin Trotter, maybe? No. Oh. Okay, so let's see if we have this right now, Casey. So D final here. No lane one unoccupied. Vince Chapetta, Colin Sell are in lanes 2 and 3. That looks like Ryan O'Connor was moved from lane 1 to lane 4 now.
Correct.
And I believe Ryan Bowering is still in his same spot.
Yes, in lane 6. So kudos to these gentlemen for not stretching and staying and swimming.
And kudos to the officials for finally getting this thing underway. We don't want any more delays here. It's been a fun but a long 4 days here at the UIC Natatorium for these championships.
These are some long weekends, but you know they're fantastic.
First 50 splits, 26-8-9 for Chipetta in 2, 27-2-3 for Sell in 3.
Yeah, Chipetta coming off that mile, you know, probably not going to hope he's going to be able to hang here for this first 100 or so. But my guess is that you're going to see Colin Sell pull away a little bit going into the third 50 here.
Yeah, that is a sub-30 split for Colin Sell, 29-4-3. Well, Vince Chipetta not too far behind, 30.76.
Yeah, Sell out in a 56-66. So he's looking to go a little faster than he did this morning. He was seated with a 159, so he's definitely getting after it this afternoon.
Yeah, some great work as well up in lane 6, I should say. Mr. Ryan Bowering got himself in second place at this point of the race.
Yeah, he had a great third 50 there, 30.0. No one around him to, you know, throw waves over his face is a little beneficial for him right now. So that may work in his favor, being out there a little bit by himself.
Colin Sell in first. Ryan Bowering trying to challenge, possibly overtake it. At this point, as they go under the flags, it's hard to tell. Looks like Sell has the slight lead and is going to take it to the house as he drops it in. 31.08 on that last 50.
Yeah, Sell a little tired on that back half, but he was able to get under 159, 158.6. So a little better than this morning.
158.99 for Bowering. As we move it on quickly to the C final, and bear with us. I think we've definitely have a shakeup in this lineup, and
looks Steinbeck in lane 2.
So lane 1 unoccupied, and we're going to start with lane 2. Charlie Steinbeck from New Trier Aquatics. John Burke is in lane 3. In lane 4 will be Stephen Del Bello from St. Charles. In lane 5, that's Nathan Reed from New Trier. Jacob Galachinski from the Wolfpack is in 6. Garrett Sims from St. Charles is in 7. And Caleb Yao from the Mavericks is in 8.
Yeah, and all these guys out in the 27, with the exception of Reed, I think went out in the 26. So he's getting after it. We'll see if he can stay on this pace. He's got a nice tempo right now. Looks pretty relaxed. Not over kicking too much, so we should look for a good back 100 from him.
Nathan Reed from New Trier Aquatics. Right below him, though, Stephen Del Bello, and he just took a peek at Nathan Reed. I was able to catch that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that competitiveness.
Yep.
The St. Charles swimmer was a 28 there, fastest guy in the pool on that 50, and we'll see if he can translate that speed into the back half of this 100 here. Entering this final 50, he definitely looks like he's increased his tempo.
He definitely has. Stephen Del Bello into another turn in 4. Trying to take down this C final here in the men's 200-yard backstroke. Increasing his lead, as Casey just mentioned. But that was a great turn in lane 6 for Mr. Jacob Galachinski from the Wolfpack, trying to answer, but under the flags and into the wall. Lane 4, Mr. Stephen Del Bello, 29.79 on his final 50. Nathan Reed touches second, Galachinski in third, 156.15 for Del Bello. Congratulations, Stephen. As we take it to the B final now. In his 200-yard backstroke in lane 1, Joseph Dienstag from New Trier Aquatics. In 2, I believe that's Richard Williams from St. Charles. In 3, Ernest Bertachowski from Academy Bullets. In 4, that is Gavin Trotter, who was moved from the C final to this B final. So Gavin Trotter from Swift in 4. Colin Bade in 5 from Lions. Sean Winner from Academy Bullets in 6. Nathan Affolter from the Wolfpack in 7. And Riley Austin from the Sterling Stingrays in 8. And this B final, that is lane 3. Ernest Bertachowski from Academy Bullets touching first. Williams second. Riley Austin from the Stingrays in third. 154.28 from Bertachowski. 155.4 for Williams and 156.18 for Riley Austin. Congratulations, young men. As we'll now take it down to the pool deck for this A final.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your A finalists in event 28, the men's 200-yard backstroke. Swimming in lane number 3 from Wheaton Swim Club, Dylan Barrow. Swimming in lane number 4 from NASA, Andrew Kelly. Swimming in lane 5 from NASA, Everett Andrew. And swimming in lane number 6 from Peoria, this race is for his mom watching at home with his 4 siblings, Simeon Rinkenberger.
You just heard that pool deck announcer give out those lane assignments. I will run them down for you officially. So in lane 3, we're going to have Dylan Barrow from the Wheaton Swim Club. In 4 and 5, I'm not sure who that is. And for Mr. Kelly, I'm not sure what his first name is, and I apologize for that. As, again, we have had some shakeups here in these lane assignments. But lane 5, I believe that is, yes, it is Everett Andrew. And in lane 6, Simeon Rinkenberger from Peoria Area Water Wizards. That is Dylan Barrow from the Wheaton Swim Club in lane 3 with the lead coming up on their next split at 150 meters, 28.15 for Barrow, 121.72. 122.62 for Andrew in lane 5. As they go under the flags, that is lane 5. Everett Andrew turning on the jets. He's going to hit the wall first. 27.17 on that last 50. Barrow in second. Rinkenberger in third. 149.79 for Mr. Everett Andrew. Congratulations. As we will now take it to an awards break. And on the other side of it, we will start the D final of the women's 100-yard freestyle.
Thank you, ladies.
I'll swing at it. I'm pretty sure I would have had it anyway.
I'm Carly Noveline. I'm swimming the 1500 freestyle.
In sixth place from Lincoln Way, Joe Bosey. In fifth place from Bloomington, Camden Swigert. In fourth place from Reach Aquatics, Vince Chiappetta. In third from Hinsdale, Jay Jensen. Second place from Lions, Michael Flynn. And your 2020 Illinois Swimming Senior Champion in the 1650 with a winning time of 15 minutes 31.43 seconds from NASA, Everett Andrew. Thank you, gentlemen. Now we have the top 8 finishers for the Distance Awards. The Distance Awards comprises the top point receivers in the 1,000 freestyle, 1,650 freestyle, as well as the 400-yard individual medley. Award winners can collect t-shirts at the awards area. First for the women's, in a tie for 7th place from St. Charles, Elizabeth Bowlek, and from Chicago Wolfpack, Alexandra Mitchell. In 6th place from Delta, Corinne Geist. 5th place from Academy, Nina Mullen. 4th place from Wheaton, Caroline Zibner. In 3rd place from Chicago Wolfpack, Piper Wood-Prince. 2nd place from Wheaton, Holly Wessel. And your distance champion in the women's division from Academy Bullets with 57 total points, Sydney Kelly. And here are your men's distance award winners. In 8th place from New Trier, Hayward Wilson. 7th from Academy, Austin Millard. 6th from Hinsdale, Nick Tomasone. In 5th from the Flying Fish, John Martin. 4th place from Maverick, Liam Davis. 3rd place from Bloomington, Camden Swigert. 2nd place from Reach, Vince Chiappetta. And your winner in the men's division for the distance awards with 85 total points from Hinsdale, Jay Jensen. Here are your finalists for event 27, the women's 200-yard backstroke. In 8th place, from Palatine, Sophia Keene. 7th place, from Hinsdale, Angelina Cackles. 6th place, from Chicago Wolfpack, Abby Taut. 5th place, from Chicago Wolfpack, Alexandra Mitchell. In 4th place, from Reach Aquatics, Madison Dorn. In 3rd place, from Hinsdale, Jamie Kolar. 2nd place, from PAC, Alexandra Eastman. And your event champion in the women's 200-yard backstroke from Waves with a final time of 1 minute 58.34 seconds, Anna Petlowski. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. Annika Wagner, please report behind the blocks. Annika Wagner, please report behind the blocks.
I'm swimming the 100 free. I'm swimming the 100 free. I'm swimming the 100 free.
From Peoria, Simeon Rinkenberger. 2nd place from Wheaton, Dylan Burrell. And your 2020 Illinois Senior Champion in the men's 200-yard backstroke from NASA Wildcat Aquatics with a winning time of 1:49.79 seconds, Everett Andrew.
All right, that was our first round of awards here at day 4 in the 2020 Illinois Swimming Senior Championships here at the beautiful UIC Natatorium. This event, of course, hosted proudly by the Hinsdale Swim Club. Had some awards. Now let's get back into the action, Casey. This is event number 29, the women's 100-yard freestyle.
Yeah, you won't see as many scratches in this event as you did in the 200 back or the 200 butterfly that's coming up
Right.
after this. There's going to be a decent amount of scratches there, but, you know, people like their sprints, so good for them.
The sprints are exciting, and it's quick action, you know, and nothing against the longer races, but
No.
you get quick results here, and this day and age, that's what people like to see.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get started with this D final. Let me give you those lane assignments. Bottom of your screen in a 1, Kelly Willite from Maverick Swim Club. St. Charles Swim is in 2, that's Lauren Schwartz. Callie Frankowiak is in 3 from Maverick. Nina Mullen is in 4 from Academy Bullets. Casey Craffey is in 5 from Cats Aquatic. Kira Tiv is in 6 from Chicago Wolfpack. Cyril Limbu is in lane 7 from Academy Bullets. And at the top of your screen, Miss Anna Kurzidlo from Coho.
Yeah, and as fast as this race is, there definitely is a strategy. You know, just because you might be first to the wall in the 25 doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the first to the wall in the 100. So you want to make sure that you're swimming fast, but you're swimming fast with easy speed, I guess you could call it, or
Controlled speed,
controlled
right?
speed, however you want to,
Yeah.
whatever words you like to use there.
On that final turn, I
Don't
think
swim
that's
hard.
I think that's Nina Mullen in 4.
Yeah, she had a great turn, and looks like she's closing to a great finish here.
Yeah, Nina Mullen gonna close out this D final with certainly an impressive
Yeah,
back
she
50.
went 51.
26-7-1 on that final 50. In second, Kira Tiv. In third, Callie Frankowiak.
Yeah, 51.88 for Nina Mullen. That's a nice swim.
On to the C final now. Again, this is going to be some quick action, so let me give you those lane assignments. In 1, it'll be Lily Consiglio from the Flying Fish. Maverick Swim Club is in 2. That's Laurel Bludgeon. Eleanor McMean is in 3 from Hinsdale. Kiara McGowan is in 4 from Academy Bullets. Claudia Resnick is going to occupy lane 5 from Patriot Aquatic. Madeline Padovic is in 6 from Hornet. Chicago Wolfpack is in lane 7. That's Julia Polsky. And Tiffany Matulis will be in lane 8, swimming unattached.
And again, you'll get your pure 50 sprinters who are going to take it out fast and try to hold on for that back half. And then you'll have the swimmers who swim it with, a little more discipline, maybe not going out as hard and, trying to not even split, but get as even as you can. In 100, you want to go, about a second and a half slower on your second 50 than your first.
Yeah, 25-1-2 for Kiara McGowan in 4.
Yeah, so if she'd come back in at 26.5 or better, that's almost a perfect split. So
But that was a great turn out in lane 5.
Yeah, down
Claudia
in
Resnick.
lane 2 had a great swim too, and look for McMean to get in here on the finish.
Ooh, it's going to be close. Who touches that wall first? It's going to be Eleanor McMean from the Hinsdale Swim Club, bringing it on home. Miss McGowan in second, and Miss Bludgeon in third.
Yeah, McMean came home in a 26, the only swimmer there in a 26. So her splits were a little closer than everybody else's, and that's why she won.
As we move it on to the B final now, and in lane 1, we'll have Katie Drum. Annabelle Olivo is in 2 from Fox Valley Park. North Park Aquatics is in lane 3. That is Miss Hannah Shamada. Annika Wagner in 4 from NASA. Swimming unattached is Alyssa Schwengel from, swimming unattached in lane 5. In 6, Julia Heimstead from Waves. Nia Robinson is in lane 7 from Glenbrook. And Callahan Dunn going to round out this B final in lane 8 from Hinsdale.
Yeah, lane 2, Annabelle Olivo had a great start and a great breakout. Let's see if she can turn that into the, transition that into the rest of the swim. Also, Katie Drum is right on her heels, but out there in lane 5.
That's Alicia Schwengel swimming unattached.
Yeah, she was out in a 24-1. That is definitely out fast. Good for her. See if she can hold on.
Yeah. There's some great swimming going down there in lanes 1 and 2. Drum and Olivo. And bringing it under the flags. It looks like Alyssa Schwengel is going to hold off the field.
Yeah, 50-point. Great swim for her.
In second, Hannah Shamada. And touching third, Annabelle Olivo. That final time is a 50.68 for Miss Schwengel. Congratulations as we now take it down to the pool deck and the A final.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 8 finalists for the women's 100-yard freestyle. Swimming in lane number 1 from Cats, Maxine Parker. That's Maxine Parker in lane 3. In lane number 4 from NASA, Carly Novaline. Swimming in lane 5 from the Bloomington Waves, Anna Peplowski. And in lane number 6 from the Chicago Wolfpack, her motto is YOLO, Peace and Love, Summer Sums Barainen.
That was the pool deck announcer, and this is the A final for the women's 100-yard freestyle. Once again, that is Maxine Parker in 3, Carly Novaline in 4, Anna Poplowski in 5, and Summer Brainin in 6.
Yeah, and as we saw over the weekend, Carly Novaline has had some tremendous underwaters this weekend, so they are on fire for her. Watch her to continue that and have some great dolphin kicks and breakouts.
One of the stars among the stars here at this Illinois Swimming 2020 Senior Championships, Miss Carly Novaline from NASA Wildcat. Out in front in that first 50 with a 23.39. That is blistering.
That is fast. Maxine Parker right on her hips, though, with a 24.1. So she's going to come home and have a nice swim, too.
Meet record is a 48.3 set by Grace Areola. If Novaline can keep her pace, she's got a shot to break it, no doubt.
Yeah, she got to put her head down. There she goes, and not breathe to the wall.
Into that wall is Carly Novaline, 25.43.
48.7, I believe.
Maxine Parker in second, and Anna Poplowski in third. 48.82. Oh,
my math was not quite correct, but
just
it was pretty close.
Over half a second off that meet record for Miss Novaline.
Smash that like button.
Definitely smash that like button. And let's give some recognition to those watching here on YouTube Live. And once again, we certainly thank you. And let's see, we've got Multi Apple saying great swimming. Of course, thank you so much for watching. Dennis Podgorski, go Alex, go Bullets, go Ryan, go, I should say. And congratulations, Nina, also from Dennis Podgorski. Thanks for watching, Dennis. We thank you all for watching. We certainly appreciate it.
And again, in this D final, we have some missing swimmers.
Yes, we do. So let's see if we can get this sorted out for you. Currently at this point, there is no one in lane 1.
It looks like no one in lane 6 right now.
Not sure if the officials are looking for replacements or not. They are conferring, seeing what they can do. And once again, this is not an easy assignment for these officials, trying to figure out just exactly what's going on, because as we mentioned before, Casey, you got a lot of scratches from preliminary action to now, so makes things a little bit difficult.
Absolutely. And you always, you know, as much as you'd like to see a full field of 8 or.
I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 IM. I'm Annika Wagner. I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 IM. I'm Annika Wagner. I'm Annika Wagner.
you're missing an hour of
Yeah.
sleep, and that's not.
I'm swimming the 100 free. I'm swimming the 100 free.
Again, we apologize for the delay, folks. Our officials are.
Hi, I want to tell you about an exciting new app called SafeCom that will make communications between families and teams safer and easier. SafeCom is safer because it's the only app on the market that automatically copies parents every time their child and coach messages each other. Every single time. Let me say that again. SafeCom is safer because it's the only app on the market that automatically copies parents on every single message between the coach and the athlete. As a parent, you will know exactly what coaches and teachers are messaging to your child and what your child is messaging back. As a coach, you will have transparent communications with your athletes and parents in one simple click. You can avoid miscommunications that often happen with athletes because
A timing clock malfunction, which happens often.
Right. Okay,
But,
so.
This is a pretty empty well, we're only missing 3 swimmers, I suppose.
Yep, missing 3 swimmers. So let me see. I think everything else is in order. So unoccupied lane 1, in lane 2, that is Alexander Dvorak. In 3, John Tischke from Hinsdale. In lane 5, that is Ethan Marundi from Palatine Park District. In lane 7, that is James Shorney from Team Millennium, and from the Wolfpack, Darren Rogers in 8.
Yeah, and Shorney out in a 22.5, and Rogers right on his hip at 22.7. Let's see if these gentlemen can hang on and come back in a 24 and get that 46, which I'm sure they're hoping for.
Meet record in this event held by Jared Schroeder back in 2001 with a 44.07.
Yeah, that was really fast. That's fast now. That was really fast back then.
Into the wall they go. It's going to be Shorney touching first, Rogers in second, and Tischke in third. 47.19 for Mr. James Shorney.
Yeah, 47.1, 47.2 for Rogers, and 47.6 for Tischke. Those were some nice swims this evening.
On to the C final now, and we're probably going to have a bit of a shakeup here. I don't quite want to give you the lane assignments as of yet because I'm not sure who will be where, to be quite honest. But I think lane 1 is okay. I think that's Nathaniel Baxter at the bottom of your screen from St. Charles.
Yep.
Edward Obara in 2 from NASA Wildcat. Gabriel Andra in 3. Nicola Tadic in 4. Cullen Coughlin in 5. Nicholas Katkovi in 6. Connor Groya in 7, and Samuel Keeley in 8.
Yeah, and out in lane 8, Samuel Keeley, 22.3, fastest one out. But Cullen Coughlin with 22.4, he's right on, swimming in lane 5. Groya also in lane 7, out fast as well. But he's a little slow on this last turn and took a huge breath coming off that wall. The race is between Coughlin and Keeley here. Keeley's definitely got the lead. And looks like Williams may get in there for second place. Keeley coming home 24.9.
Kat Covey ends up touching second, and Mr. Coughlin third. 47.27 for Mr. Keeley. As we move it on to the B final now. And let's see.
Yeah, Josh Knowles.
Yep, that is Josh Knoll in lane 1. I believe that is also Bryson.
Yes.
Brighton Butcher.
Brighton Bucher.
Okay, thank you for that. Brighton Bucher in 2. I think that's Jack Wanless. Wanless.
Jack Wanless.
In 3 from Lions Aquatic. Mark Avery
Yep.
in 4 from Maverick Swim Club. I believe that's Brendan Forrest in 5 from Glenbrook Swim Club. Richard Williams in 6 from St. Charles. Calvin Sandifer in 7 from
Sterling.
And Yep, that is where we see a correction there in lane 8.
Yeah, Tadic.
Tadic is in 8.
Yeah, Mark Avery in lane 4 out really fast here. Brighton Bucher also out fast. He's been known to go out really fast.
21.75 for Mr. Mr. Avery, excuse me.
Yeah, let's see if
21.94
Brighton
for Brighton
Bucher
Bucher.
can hang on. Sandifer out in lane 7 was out 22.2. Jammed the last turn there a little bit. But it looks like this race is headed to Mark Avery.
Yeah, he is taking this B final down under the flags and into the wall. Mr. Mark Avery in lane 4. 24.16 on that final 50. In second place, Jack Wanless, and in third, Mr. Williams from St. Charles. 45.91 for Mark Avery.
That's a good swim. Good finish by Wanless there to get in 46.6. He was kind of behind the pack and just kind of snuck in there at the end. And then, you know, the top 4 get medals on this one. So well done, gentlemen.
Yes, definitely well done, as we'll take it now down to the pool deck for the A final.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your A finalists in the men's 100-yard freestyle. Swimming in lane 3 from Hinsdale, Nicholas Thomasone. Swimming in lane 4 from Maverick, Grant Bochensky. In lane number 5 from Glenbrook, he enjoys cuddling and building bionicles in his spare time, Mike Hajijanov. And in lane number 6 from Hinsdale, Jack Thorell.
There you heard the pool deck announcer. I will reset those lane assignments for you as well. Nicholas Tomasoni in 3 from Hinsdale, Grant Paczynski in 4 from Maverick, Michael Hajivanov in 5 from Glenbrook Swim Club, and Jack Dorrell in lane 6 from Hinsdale.
Yeah, someone go out in a 20-point here. See if we can see a 20-point. That'd be nice.
This is the senior swimming Sid the Kid 8, but you are correct. Some of these young men are a little bit older. They swim unattached, and usually they're swimming for, you know, not club records, but national standards, other standards for
just getting in a race.
Or just getting in a race, like you said, Casey.
Yeah, Bochensky out in a 21.6. Everybody else out 21.7, 21.8. We'll see who comes off this last wall. Make sure you want to stay down. You don't want to breathe.
That is lane 4. Mr. Grant Bochensky, can he hold off?
Oh, he took
Nicholas
a breath
Tomasoni?
right there. Got in just.
He did hold him off.
He was.
Woo, go ahead, Casey. Go ahead.
Sorry, he was outsplit on that last 50 by Tomasoni and Thorell. It came down to 100th, actually. 45.33, 45.34, and 45.37. That was a tight race. It doesn't get much closer than that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And if a record can be broken, you definitely won a final race like that. So congratulations to all of the young men.
Yeah. Bochensky will do well in the future to not breathe within the flags on his finish. It almost cost him.
Lesson learned, though, however, and I'm sure he will learn it in the future, like you said, Casey. So
all you young swimmers out there, don't breathe from the flags of the wall on your finish.
It could cost you. Did not cost Tomasoni in that race, though, however. So let's move things on to event number 31. It's the women's 200-yard butterfly.
Yeah, we'll be missing some swimmers
yes,
here.
It looks like we're definitely going to be missing
This isn't an event that people like to do twice sometimes. But, you know, sometimes you have to.
Hi, I want to tell you about an exciting new app called SafeCom that will make communications between families and teams safer and easier. SafeCom is safer because it's the only app on the market that automatically copies parents every time their child and coach messages each other. Every single time. Let me say that again. SafeCom is safer because it's the only app on the market that automatically copies parents on every single message between the coach and the athlete. As a parent, you will know exactly what coaches and teachers are messaging to your child and what your child is messaging back. As a coach, you will have transparent communications with your athletes and parents in one simple click. You can avoid miscommunications that often happen with athletes because the parents are going to be seeing the messages in real time. SafeCom's patented technology links parents to their children in a way that makes it impossible to isolate the child in any messaging. There are apps on the market that offer group messaging or chats. However, every one of those apps, your child can be isolated and receive messages that you are not aware of. Let me give you an example. Your club wants to have transparent communications and sets up a group with all the parents, all the athletes, and all the coaches in that particular practice group or training group. However, an adult in the group creates another group with your child and only your child. You as a parent are not seeing these messages that your child is vulnerable. This scenario cannot happen with SafeCom, and SafeCom is 100% MAP compliant. How does SafeCom work? A team or a school will create an account and using our web portal can download their current roster groups from their registration software directly into our app. This is important because teams won't have to retype anything or re-enter information. The information is already in their registration system. Now they can download it directly. Makes it much easier for the club to set up this app. Next, the organization is going to send you as a parent an email inviting you and your family to join that group. So as a parent, you're going to create a family account. And again, this can be done on our web portal, so it's much easier. You can do it on a laptop, you can do it on a desktop, you can do it on your phone, however you want to set it up. Register yourself and your spouse. Then you register your children, including setting up their usernames and passwords. Finally, each of your family members downloads the apps and logs in with the user information provided in the family account. By doing this, we have now linked the child and the family together in all communications. This couldn't be any easier. And by having the families linked, by having the children and the parents linked, there's no way to have that isolation of a child that we talked about in the previous scenario with other applications.
We are ready to get this thing started here. Once again, event number 31, the women's 200-yard butterfly. Let me give you those lane assignments as I currently have them. In lane 2 from Fox Valley, that is Sophie Meng. In 3, that is Linda Steen from Reach Aquatics. Unoccupied lane 4. In lane 5, Emma Neeson from Wild Kid. Carly Marshall is in the 6 from Wildcat. Hannah Mullen is in 7 from the Bullets. And Miss Ann Gathoff is at the top of your screen in lane 8 from Wheaton Swim Club.
Yeah, in the 200 fly, there's not really an easy way to swim it. It's going to hurt no matter if you go out fast or you go out slow. You definitely don't want to go out too fast because then you'll see some swimmers, especially the younger ones or the inexperienced ones, they get excited, they go out fast, and in the last 25 they're swimming straight up and down. So you definitely do want to control it, but you have to go out fast, and there's no really other way to swim it. The better swimmers will stay underwater as long as they can because the fewer strokes you take, the less your shoulders are going to hurt.
Certainly off to a fast start. That is lane 2, Sophie Ming from Fox Valley Swim.
Yeah, 31.8 there. Her head's a little high on her streamline, and the streamline's probably not as tight as her coach would like it, but you know, this is a tough event, so we'll see how she can continue.
Having a great swim so far as well. Those are lanes 6 and 7. Marshall in 6 from Wildcat, and Nina Mullen from the Bullets in 7.
Yeah, it looks like Nina's kind of increased her turnover a little bit and is having a good 50, as well as was it Carly from Wild also having a good 50. Yep, Mang looks like she hit a little bit of a wall at a 34 there on that last 50.
Yeah, Sophie Ming has really slowed her pace down here a little bit. Maybe, as we have warned before, got out a little bit too fast.
A little excited on that first 100. Going from a 31 to a 35, not necessarily what coaches like to see, but it happens.
Bringing it on home. That is Nina Mullen in lane 7, right below her in 6, Kaylee Marshall. But it will be Nina Mullen touching first, Marshall second, Nissan third.
Yeah, nice drops from this morning, ladies.
2:09.7 for Mullen as we moving along now to the C final.
Oh, and we see you, Sid and Genesis. We see you shout-outs there. Although, I think we were on commercial when we were talking to him earlier.
So we're going to shout you out again there, Sid the Kid. What's going on? And thank you for watching. And again, as we thank all of you for watching.
Oh, yeah, and anyone from out of the United States.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Definitely check in with us. Let us know where you're watching from. We certainly appreciate it. And again, let's get into this C final. It looks like it will be Quinn Bike in 1, Naomi Ruff in 2, both St. Charles teammates. Margaret Meehan is in 3 from FMC. Ashley Sturchell is in 4 from Fox Valley Swim. Megumi Komodo in 5 from the Bullets. Isabella Del Rosario is in 6 from St. Charles. Madeline Reed in 7 from New Trier. And representing the Waves, Lauren Wisdom in 8.
Yeah, and all these top swimmers out in the 28 here, the rest out in the 29. Just make sure that you're not forcing that 28. Just let the 28 happen. And then try and stay within your swim for the rest of the 350s. Don't lift your head up too high. Make sure that you're trying to keep your chin at the surface of the water. You know, you want to keep the front of your shoulders close to the water. Swimmers start going too up and down, and they're going to get tired, and they're going to end up just going, straight up and down.
First 100, that is lanes 2 and 3. Naomi Ruff and Margaret Meehan having a good first half of their swim so far.
Yeah, Naomi looks like she's not struggling as much as Meehan, but Meehan's hanging tough in there.
Yeah, 150 mark now. Again, that is Naomi Ruff in 2 and Margaret Meehan in 3 from FMC. 33.61, 33.9 for Meehan. Making their final turn, Naomi Ruff and Margaret Meehan.
Yeah, stroke for stroke here in this 200 fly.
It's going to be a close C final here. Naomi Ruff and Margaret Meehan, stroke for stroke. This is going to be really close, Casey.
Absolutely.
It is Margaret Meehan just out touching Naomi Ruff.
Yeah, and again, she didn't breathe from the flags of the wall. And that was the difference in that race right there.
Lauren Wisdom touching 3rd. Outstanding from Margaret Meehan, able to just out-touch Naomi Ruff. As we take it to the B final now. And in lane 1, it will be Emsila Arusovic. In 2, Lily Consiglio. In 3, Anna Grooveberger. In 4, Sarah Limbu. In 5, Sydney Kelly. In 6, Emma Pritchett. In 7, Ella Young. And in lane 8, we have Olivia Hoskins.
Yeah, so look for Anna Grooveberger and Sierra Limbu to get out nice. Down here in lane 1, you got, is that Emsala Arusovic? She's out in the 27, as well as Grooveberger out in the 27. Everyone else out in the 28, 29. It's a little spicy for Grooveberger. We'll see if she's able to hang on. As well as Arusovic.
So far, so good, though, for Miss Anna Grooveberger from the Hinsdale Swim Club.
Yeah,
she's actually
definitely
increasing her lead there a little bit.
Absolutely. She's keeping her stroke together. Got a nice tempo. Doesn't look like she's struggling too much. She's 30.4 there. So that was a 57, I think. Doing quick math, 57.8 in her first 100.
Can she hold on in the back 100, though? However, I think Emsila Arusovic may have something to say about that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see one of these ladies get under 2 minutes. That'd be a great drop.
157.71 is the meet record. That was by Adrian Bisek back in 2009.
Yeah, Grooveberger getting a little short into that wall, 32.5. Rusovic actually with a faster split, 32.3, along with Kelly. She was also 32.3.
Yeah, Sydney Kelly out in lane 5 as Anna Grooveberger struggling to hold on to this lead, Casey.
Yeah, she's got to get to her legs a little more, make sure she's keeping it, her stroke long out in front. It's still going to hurt, but then it stops the up and down motion. But you can see
Grooveberger hold off the field. She will be able to. Coming in first, in second, Sarah Limbu in lane 4, and Miss Kelly in lane 3.
Yeah, and Ruzovic with a 35 on that last 50. She definitely was feeling the effects of that fast first 50.
As we take it down now to the pool deck for the A final. That was our pool deck announcer. I will repeat those names and lanes. In 3, Julia Heimstead. In 4, Julietta Tracy. In 5, Lindsay Merck. And Annalise Stingle will be in lane 6.
Yeah, the final of the women's 200-yard butterfly, event 31.
In the water they go.
Yeah, all these girls are 203 this morning, except Annalise, who is a 204. But expect her to, try and stay with the other ladies here as we get out this first 50.
Great work in lanes 4 and 5 by Tracy and Merck. First 50 split coming up is a 27.03 for Tracy, 27.27 for Merck.
Yeah, 27's across the board there. So let's see if all these, if as long as Julietta didn't swim outside of herself and wasn't pushing her pace too much on that first 50, she should hang on and be pretty good. Maybe the rest of the field will reel her in a little bit. We'll see.
Julietta Tracy in this first 100 has the lead, 30.74 on that 50 yards. 36.1 though, however, from Merck in 5.
Yeah, Lindsay Merck just a little faster on that second 50, 30.6. The other two ladies with a 31, so they're up 57, 58. Heimstead out in a 59.
Looks like this race will be between Julietta Tracy and Lindsay Merck. However, Annalise Stingle up in lane 6, starting to make a move, Casey.
Yeah, she's increased her turnover. Her kick's gotten a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. Tracy, though, with the fastest split on this third 50 with 30.9, with Merck 31.6 and Stingle 32.
Yeah, the rest of the field starting to drop off a little bit as Julietta Tracy stays consistent in her splits, increasing her lead.
Yeah, this last 50 hurts. It hurts a lot, but all these swimmers have heart, and they all want to come home strong. So
Julietta Tracy is going to win this A final from the Chicago Wolfpack. Coming in second, Lindsay Merck, and in third, Annalise Stingle.
Yeah, Tracy with a 31.5 on her back. Last 50 almost broke 2 minutes, 2:00:27.
Congratulations, Miss Julietta Tracy, as we move the action right along. And we have already been told we're going to have some movement here in this event. So once again, bear with us. This is probably going to take a few minutes to sort out. So actually, as they do sort it out, let's run a few promotional videos from Illinois Swimming before we get back into event number 32.
I'm Annika Wagner.
Take as long as I thought it would. We are back. And looks like we're ready to get this thing started. This is event number 32, the men's 200-yard butterfly. And if
teammates.
if I'm looking at this correctly, there are only 2 swimmers in this D final.
Yeah.
So,
Garrett Sims and Kane Kriz.
pair of St. Charles teammates in this D final. And once again, folks, we mentioned it already in these finals that due to a lot of scratches not happening in preliminary action during the morning session, this is the end result. But nonetheless, these teammates, I'm sure, want to beat each other because we've talked about this as well.
Absolutely.
A little bit of bragging rights for your club.
Right. Garrett out in the 27-0 and Kane out in the 27-8. So we'll see if Garrett didn't get a little too excited, too amped, trying to beat his teammate there, Kane.
That is an excellent name, by the way, Kane Kriz.
Kane Kriz, I agree. That might be that's probably the top of the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. And Mr. Kriz is looking over at his teammate, trying to catch up as Garrett Sims, 30.6 on that last 50.
And Kane with a 31.9. So he may have just kind of held back. We'll see. If I recall, Kane Kriz just has some nice closing speed. So he may be playing a little possum with Garrett, but we'll see what happens.
Garrett Sims with the lead, coming up on the 150 mark. But Kane Kriz is actually starting to make a little bit of a move here.
Yeah, kind of getting that second kick in. Sims with a 32 and Kane with a 31.6. So Kane has gained a little bit of ground, but he may have let Garrett go too far. But Garrett looks like he's getting a little vertical. So this will be a nice little last 25. See who's going to want it the most here.
Final turn for Garrett Sims and Kane Kriz. And that was some great work by Kane Kriz on that last turn, Casey.
Yeah, it's going to come right down to the finish. Garrett is definitely struggling. Get to the wall.
Kriz
or Sims.
Oh, he got him. He caught him.
Kane came home 30.4 to Garrett's 32.6.
As you predicted, Casey, Kane Kriz with some amazing closing speed.
Yeah, that was a great back half.
Catch his teammate Garrett Sims, 2:01.86 for Kriz, 2:02.39 for Sims.
Yeah, but again, both of those swimmers dropped roughly 4 seconds. Well, Garrett dropped 3 seconds and Kane dropped 2 seconds, but those were good swims from this morning.
C final now for the men's 200-yard butterfly. And in lane 1 from Academy Bullets, it'll be Joshua Harris. In 2, Owen Mruck from St. Charles. In 3, Carson Faley from Sterling Stingrays. Sean Winter is in 4 from Academy Bullets. Hinsdale Swim Club is represented by Kashif Carter in 5. Calvin Sandifer is in 6 from Sterling. Jackson Bradburn is in 7 from the Water Wizards. And in lane 8, Bennett Lindbergh from Nassau Wildcat.
Yeah, the only swimmer who doesn't seem to be here for this heat is Sean Werner from Academy in lane 4.
And that may be causing a slight delay. Again, not sure at this point.
I think they want to make sure that everyone's here for the B final, because if not everyone's there for the B final, they'll move someone from the C final to fill it. Because the B final would be, the top 4 swimmers in the B final are eligible for medals. Not eligible, they win medals. 5th through 8th. So as long as everybody's in the B final, this final, this C final will go off as it is. But if not, look for Mr. Carter from Hinsdale to move up. But I think we're good to go. Looks like the official got his whistle blowing, and we're going to get this started.
Yep. Once again, C final for the men's 200-yard butterfly, event number 32. All these young men with pretty good underwater work. That is Kashif Carter in lane 5, setting the pace
really
so far.
fast. He's out fast.
25.72 for Mr. Carter.
Yeah, right behind him is Faley and Harris. 26 ones. See if Carter can hang on to that pace that he set out to.
Yeah, that was a pretty blazing pace, I should say, set by Mr. Kashif Carter. So far, so good, but making a move in lane 3, that is Carson Faley, and also in lane 1, Joshua Harris.
Yeah, Carter 28.8, Faley and Harris 29s. We'll see if, again, can he hang on? Can Carter hang on? Or is his kick a little too big? Is he a little too wavy? Faley looks like he's hit a bit of a wall, but Harris is still maintaining a nice tempo and good steady stroke.
Kashif Carter with a 31.02 last 50, but making his move. That is Joshua Harris from the Academy Bullets in lane 1. I think he may have overtaken him here.
Yeah, it's going to be close going into this final turn here. And then Faley looks like he's kind of picked up his pace again. I don't know that he's got enough left to catch the other two boys, but it looks like lane 1 here, Joshua Harris, probably going to pull it out.
Yeah.
But Faley may catch Carter if Carter can't finish.
Joshua Harris is going to touch that wall first with a 31.85 back 50. Kashif Carter touches second, and Mr. Faley is third. 157.71 for Joshua Harris.
Yeah, this race is tough at the end of the long weekend, and with the air quality and in the pool this weekend hasn't been the best. Usually there's not a problem here at UIC, but this weekend been a little bit rough on the old lungs.
The lungs and the sinuses.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hopefully I'm not too distracting if you're listening on YouTube Live. I'm sniffling just a little bit, but these young athletes are racing, so I'm announcing, and we are on to the B final now. Let me give you those lane assignments really quickly. Amir Aliyev is going to be in 1, Ethan Batko in 2, Sean Winter in 3, and that is, Sean Winter in 3, Foster Swanson in 4, Liam Davis in 5, Joshua Knoll in 6, Nicholas Katkovi in 7, and Milo Balzer in 8.
Yeah, top 4 guys all out in the 25, with 3 guys at the 26, including Foster out first, 26-2 I think it was, or 25-2, sorry. And he's staying nice and long off the walls with a strong underwater. Swanson, a side breather, which is, again, something that may not always be coached, but if the athlete is comfortable breathing to the side, then so be it. As long as they have the flexibility through the shoulders and the neck to make sure they're able to get through, then it's okay. And it doesn't seem to be hurting Foster or Swanson too much. But down here in lane 2, you got Ethan coming on strong on this third 50.
Yeah, absolutely. Split times are as follows. Swanson with a 29.14. Yeah. 28.73 though for Mr. Davis in 5.
Yeah, 28.8 for Becco out of Cats. So we'll see if these two gentlemen can rein in or reel in Foster. Looks like this last 25 here, Foster's hurt, and he stayed under the longest. Cats has got it here down here in lane 2. Ethan's came on strong.
Ethan Batko in lane 2. Is he gonna hang on? No, he will be in second place. Liam Davis just out touches him with a 28.94 final 50. In third is Foster Swanson in lane 4. That is a 152.78 for Mr. Davis.
Yeah, and that was a nice drop from this morning. He went 154 this morning and came 152, and then Batko from Cats went 155 and dropped to a 152.
As we take it down now to the pool deck for the A final. That was our pool deck announcer. And of course, as always, I will give those names over once again. Nathaniel Baxter will be in 3. Brendan Forrest will be in 4. Matthew Gibson is in 5. And Tegan Cook is in lane 6.
Yeah, Tegan Cook had a great swim this morning to get into this final, 154. I think he dropped a few seconds from his best. He's going to get out fast, as well as Forrest. He'll get out fast, too.
Yep, in lane 4. First 50-yard split times coming up. So far, with the early lead, that is Tegan Cook with a 2:4.29 split.
Yeah, 24-2. That's out really fast for him. 25s for the other two gentlemen.
1:47.96. I remember this day very, very well. Nicholas Vance, we mentioned him yesterday, Casey. That kid is a superstar, and I believe he's swimming at Florida State.
Florida State. He had a great senior year last year.
Yeah, I want to say I think he set 4 or 5 records there at those senior championships last year. Just an outstanding performance by Nicholas Vance. But it is 2020, and Tegan Cook still with a slight lead.
Yeah, Tegan Cook actually had the 3rd fastest split on that last 50. So 2 guys are kind of catching him, lane 4 and lane 5, Gibson. We'll see if that repeats itself here or if Tegan's just able to maintain and drive to the finish.
Yeah, so far with about a body length lead coming off of those turns is Tegan Cook, but starting to make a move. That was a great turn in lane 3 from Baxter.
Yeah, Baxter and Gibson both are trying their darndest to reel in Cook, but I think Cook may have gotten out a little bit farther than everybody else can reel in. We'll see if he can finish it. Doesn't look like he's dying anytime soon, so he's going to finish as your champion.
Tegan Cook keeping that head down and into the wall. He's going to hit first. Gibson is second, and Baxter is third. 1:59.3 for Tegan Cook, 1:51.93 for Gibson, and 1:52.28 for Baxter.
Nice job, gentlemen.
Excellent job, gentlemen. And we're going to have another break with some awards. And when we come back, Casey.
Your favorite.
It's my favorite event of the night, the final events of the night, unfortunately, however. But we'll finish it up great with some freestyle relays after these awards. to finish up the action here at the 2020 Illinois Swimming Senior Championships, hosted by Hinsdale Swim Club. These are my favorite events of the evening and meet. It is relay time. Event number 33, the women are up first. And let me give you those lane assignments as I have them before we get things started. In lane 1 at the bottom of your screen, it's gonna be the B relay from Academy Bullets. Emily Regula, Sarah Limbu, Katie O'Connell, and Sydney Kelly. In lane 2, it's the B relay from Hinsdale. In 3, it's in lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're all A relays, so let me just give you the club name. Maverick is in 3, NASA Wildcat is in 4, Academy Bullets is in 5, and Hinsdale is in 6. Nutria Aquatics, it's their A relay, they're in lane 7, and the Academy Bullets C relay is in lane 8. So that is a correction. There is no lane 7. That is unoccupied. And we are underway for these 400-yard freestyle relays, Casey.
Yes, we are. And it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fast one. There's a team scoring component here. Academy is in first place fairly comfortably. Very comfortably. No one's going to catch them. But Hinsdale has about a 50-point lead on St. Charles for second place in the team scores. So depending on the results of this and how St. Charles swam this morning, could potentially determine whether Hinsdale stays at second or St. Charles moves up and passes them. So that's just a little, story within the story.
Absolutely. Those second legs are ready to drop into the water. Lane 6 is in first. It's the Hinsdale Swim Club. That is Eleanor McMean on that second leg. Rest of the swimmers are in. Let me run down the names for you. In 1, it's Sarah Limbu. In 2, Tyra Geronis. In 3, Laurel Bludgeon. In 4, Audrey Richardson. In 5, Lindsay Merck. Just mentioned Eleanor McMean. And Hannah Mullen is in lane 8.
Yeah, and Eleanor out in the 24 with a few other ladies out in the 24. So this is just sometimes it's just fun to sit back and watch these ladies swim fast, and we don't want to ruin it with our voices all the time.
We certainly don't. And again, this is why I love these relays, because the action speaks for itself as
Absolutely.
We're moving on to the third leg here. Hinsdale in first on their third leg. That is Melanie Canonis. All the third legs are in now. Katie O'Connell for Academy Bullets in 1. Amelia Carlson for Hinsdale in 2. Callie Frankowiak for Maverick in 3. Mackenzie Tucker for NASA in 4. Katie Drum for Academy A in 5. Just mentioned Kunonis and Megumi Komodo for Academy C in 8.
Yeah, and Kunonis with the fastest first 50 there. She's definitely getting after it. She's hugging that lane line, though, which maybe not necessarily be the best bet for her. Lane 5, the swimmer from Academy swimming right on her hip and letting her do all the work.
Hinsdale still holding on to their lead, but below them in lane 5 is Academy Bullets A relay making a big move. Hinsdale in, Academy A in. Let me give you those anchor legs as I got them. Sydney Kelly is going to be in lane 1. Phoebe Paulberg in 2. Kelly Willite in 3. Annika Wagner in 4. Nina Mullen in 5. Anna Groveberger in 6. And Olivia Hoskins in 8.
Yeah, and I wouldn't count out Annika Wagner here. She is a competitor, and, wow, she went out 23-3, and she's always a back half swimmer, so I think she's putting this one to bed early.
Annika Wagner for NASA Wildcat, seemingly coming out of nowhere. I guess that's why they call them the anchors, Casey, because Annika Wagner is dropping it in right now.
Nicely played.
Miss Annika Wagner is going to bring it home for NASA Wildcat A relay. In second place, it is the Academy relay, their A relay, and in third will be the Hinsdale A relay. As we now move it on to the final race of action here at the 2020 Illinois Swimming Senior Championships. It's the boys' turn for their 400-yard freestyle relay. Unfortunately, I've got to do this thing solo, so hopefully you like what I bring for you because I'm certainly excited. I'm ready for this. The teams are ready. Let's get this thing going. I'm going to give you those lane assignments in 1. It's going to be the Nutria Aquatics A relay. In 2, it's the Hinsdale relay. It's their B relay. From lanes 3 through 8, they're all A relays. So let me run down the clubs for you. Hinsdale in 3, Nassau Wildcat in 4, Maverick in 5, Academy Bullets in 6, Glenbrook in 7, and Sterling in 8. Setting the tone early, that is lane 5. That's Grant Paczynski from Maverick with a great first 50 with a 21.55, 21.91 from Hinsdale in lane 3. Maverick Swim Club, their A relay, ready to go to the second leg. Those swimmers are in, so let me run down the names for you. It'll be Pierce Bailey in 1, Connor Groya in 2, Bryson Breitenbucher in 3, Everett Andrew in 4, Alexander Dvorak in 5, Thomas Matulis in 6, Nicholas Katkovi in 7, and Riley Austin in 8. Next 50 split time. And the Mavericks still hold a slight lead, but Hinsdale in lane 3 right there with them. I believe, no, the Mavericks still have a slight lead coming off that last turn, but right above them in lane 6, that is the Academy Bullets A relay. And Thomas Matulis getting them in the race as these third legs are in. They're all in the water now. Let me give you the names. It's going to be Christopher Kearney in 1, John Tiskey in 2, Cullen Coughlin in 3, Rex Maurer in 4, Liam Davis in 5, Benjamin Guerrero in 6, Foster Swanson in 7, and Carson Bailey in 8. As we come up on the next split time, it is Hinsdale and Academy Bullets, stroke for stroke. For Hinsdale, that is Cullen Coughlin, and for Academy Bullets, it is Benjamin Guerrero. Academy Bullets and Benjamin Guerrero have taken the lead as the anchors are getting ready to enter. It's Academy and Hinsdale, and Maverick is in the water. Waiting for the rest of the anchors. They're all in the water. Let me give you the names. It'll be Samuel Dienstag in 1, Jay Jensen in 2, Jack Thorell in 3, Luke Maurer in 4, Mark Avery in 5, William Raitt in 6, Michael Hajivanov in 7, and Brock Dringenberg in lane 8. You can hear the excitement building, folks. Hinsdale trying to hold off lane 4. That's Nassau Wildcat and Luke Maurer, but we know how much of a back halfer he is. It's Luke Maurer coming off the final turn with the lead. Can Hinsdale get back in it? No, they cannot, as Luke Maurer is going to bring it home for Nassau Wildcat in lane 4. Hinsdale going to touch second. And Academy Bullets will be third. Man, what an exciting race. As you hear my voice cracking here a little bit, I'm amped up. That was certainly exciting to finish things off here at the Illinois Swimming Senior Championships here at the UIC Natatorium. Woo! I'm going to catch my breath here, folks. We're going to have our final awards and some individual and team recognitions, and then we'll wrap things up here from the Natatorium for Illinois Swimming 2020 Senior Championship.
I am. I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 I am. I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 I am. I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 I am. I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 I am. I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 I am. I'm Annika Wagner. And I'm swimming 200 I am. I'm Annika Wagner.
Illinois State Senior Champ in the women's 400 yard freestyle relay with a winning time of 2:25.9 seconds. The relay from NASA.
medal.
And finally, here are your top 3 team finishes in the men's, women's, and combined. In the women's division, in 3rd place with a point total of 584 points, Hinsdale Swim Club. 2nd place with 615 points, St. Charles. And your 2020 Illinois Swimming Senior Champs in the women's division with a grand total of 788 points, the team from Academy Boys. And here are your top 3 finishes in the men's division. In 3rd place with a total of 450 points, Fox Valley Swim Team. In 2nd place with a total of 545.5 points, Hinsdale Swim Club. And your senior champs in the men's division for 2020 Illinois Swimming with a grand total of 553.5 points, the Academy Bullets. And here are your combined point totals. In 3rd place with 946 points, St. Charles. In 2nd place with 1,129.5 points, Hinsdale Swim Club. And your 2020 combined champions in Illinois swimming with a grand total of 1,341.5 points. Once again, Academy Bullets.
You have to put away your own radio. That's the one thing I regret to say. Hey,
And that will officially wrap up the action here from the UIC Natatorium at the 2020 Illinois Swimming Senior Championships hosted by the Hinsdale Swim Club. Once again, my name is Jay Pfeiffer, and I am so glad that you were able to join us over these 4 days. And I promise you, I'm only going to keep you for a few more minutes. I want to make a few announcements and, of course, recognize some sponsors and officials and all other great people here that helped make this event what it was. I want to start off with the White Sox Swim Team Night. It's going to be Tuesday, May 19th at 7:10 p.m. at Guaranteed Rate Field. Join the White Sox as they celebrate Swim Team Night on May 19th. This special ticket offer is extended to all family members and friends of your swim team. Show your Illinois swimming pride and cheer on your White Sox in this matchup against the Rockies. And we were lucky enough to have Brian McNamara, Group Sales Executive, join us and give us a little bit more information. But if you want to go online, if you have any questions or concerns, you can visit fevo.me/swimnight. Now it's time to recognize some of our great sponsors here at Illinois Swimming. Want to start off with Speedo, which is the longtime partner and the presenting sponsor of all Illinois Swimming Championship meets. Athletico is the official provider of physical therapy, occupational therapy, athletic training, work rehab, massage therapy, and sports medicine category for Illinois Swimming. Oceans Apparel is the official apparel sponsor and provider of all championship swim meet apparel for Illinois Swimming. Visit the Oceans table out in the main concourse. It was in the main concourse to see all the championship meet gear. Also, Elsmore Swim Shop, which is the official provider for Team Illinois. Visit the Elsmore table in the concourse to experience their excellent customer service. Want to recognize and say thank you to Marriott Bonvoy, which is the official hotel sponsor of Illinois Swimming and USA Swimming. I also want to recognize Team Unify, Bag Tags, and Hasty Awards, providing plenty of gear and swag for these 4 days of this senior championship meet. Want to give a special thank you to meet host, which was the Hinsdale Swim Club. It was a long 4 days, but they did everything they could to make sure the broadcast was great, the experience was great, and we thank you so much, Hinsdale Swim Club parents and volunteers. Also, Scott Erdman and Carl Milcrete, who are the meet directors. Meet and admin referee Randy Clark, Lisa Greger, Tim Kroll, and all our officials. And finally, I want to recognize this wonderful webcast team that helped bring this broadcast to you on YouTube Live. And once again, we thank you for joining us. So let me start off by running down those names. I want to recognize Shobi Nati, Chloe Small, Eustaquio Mendez, Will Castile, Michael Reed, Antoine Massey, our pool deck announcer, and I, of course, am Jay Pfeiffer, your play-by-play announcer and host for these 4 days. So that'll do it officially for this Illinois Swimming 2020 Senior Championships here at the UIC Natatorium in Chicago, Illinois. Next Thursday, however, we will be in Elkhart for the Age Group Championships. We all hope to see you there. And as we say goodbye, we say get home safe, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
I'm swimming 100 free. I'm swimming 100 free.